When we have a desire that's interesting to us, we automatically summon energies that support that desire. We have an idea of something we want, and we can't help but think, ooh, that's interesting. And that summons other thoughts of curiosity, fascination, intrigue, captivation. And that's the gift inside of desire. It calls in other positive energies that assist us in creating breakthroughs in every part of our life. If you're curious about the gift of desire and how it can help create transformation, then today's episode is for you. So stay tuned. What do you do when your dreams feel unreachable, your reality feels close to unbearable, and no matter how hard you work to shake things up, no matter how much time and effort you put into changing your life, you still feel deeply, painfully, and hopelessly stuck? What you need is alchemy. What is alchemy? Well, it's a process that changes or transforms something in a magical way. You can discover how to create this very practical form of magic in your own life, shifting your energy in a way that dissolves the obstacles in your path to literally bring success to you. My name is Remy, like Do Re Mi, and I'm a best-selling author. Knowing how to unlock this hidden power, how to take back your resilience so you can just move forward, is the battle cry of anyone who's been through one of life's crushing setbacks. Luckily, unlocking your hidden power is easier than it might seem. I have something that I think you'll enjoy, and you can get started with this very practical form of magic right here, right now. Simply click below. Okay, let me jump off the screen here so I can see my laptop. Today, we're talking about the gift of desire. When we have a desire for one thing, it creates all kinds of positive energies that affect other areas of our life. The mistake we make, though, is in trying to solve a challenge or an obstacle, because all that does is it keeps us stuck inside that challenge. But when we look to other areas of our life, when we look to those things that stir desire within us, our energy changes overall. And that challenge we're in can often find a way to solve itself, clearing the way for success, simply because our own energy and emotions are changing. If you aren't getting the success you want in full abundance, however you identify with success, and if you're wanting to tap into a greater knowingness and align with higher thought frequencies instead of the lower ego thinking that beats us up sometimes, because you want to attract in the success that you're craving, then today's episode is for you. Maybe it's time to open up to your hidden power and create something unimaginable, something totally unreasonable, something that maybe even seems impossible, to kick your whole life and all your success into high gear for whatever success means for you. And today, I'm going to try and get you one step closer. As business owners, change makers, thought leaders, innovators, disruptors, or even if we haven't found the right fit in the world yet, whether we're talking about our relationships at home or at work, or when we're talking about our finances, sometimes we simply find that we're moving away from success. So, how do we overcome this? How can we find the clarity and courage we need to believe in ourselves and our own strengths so that we can unlock our hidden power? Well, it's time to be unabashedly, unapologetically, happily untethered to ego thinking. It's time to align with our soul's path instead. Today's episode is for you if you wonder how to unlock the true power of flow, a surefire way to know if you're blocking your own manifestations, the fast track to bringing your desires to fruition. Yes, these episodes are about how to find your hidden power when you want to transform challenges into successes. I like to call it the audacity of alchemy. Because when you're feeling stuck, it's never the situation that has you stuck, it's your energy that's become stuck in anxiety, overwhelm, confusion, doubts, worries, frustration, anger, indecision. And often, these negative emotions are because of a spiritual injury that we've experienced, some kind of a hidden trauma. So it isn't the pain of the situation, it's the pain of not being connected in the natural energy of who you really are, of being connected to that magical part of you that's a creative vibrational being who can use positive energies to create what you want and bring it into physical manifestation. Part of this process is to allow your manifestations to materialize and not get stuck in the negative vibrations that block them. These positive energies that we talk about so much here are where you find the magic of alchemy. And using your hidden power means using these positive energies to effect transformation. Because if you're like me, then you're someone who has the audacity, the willingness to take bold risks and transform challenges into success. So let's talk about this idea of transformation and the audacity of alchemy, because your choice of frequency, your choice of those higher energy thought patterns can change the course of your journey. So today we're talking about the gift of desire. You know, desire itself is a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. There's a gift inside of desire, and that's what we're talking about here. But let me just put something on the table right from the get go. What we're talking about with desires is unleashing or unlocking the true power of flow. We aren't talking about wanting something so much that we end up putting resistance on it and pushing it away. I've been guilty of that for sure. Most of my life, I've had chronic frustration, and we've talked about this before and how challenging it was for me to kick that habit. Now, maybe you have something similar. When I talk to clients about their desires, what I hear most often is either impatience or sometimes indifference for not wanting to get their hopes up. Any of these negative emotions like confusion or frustration, impatience or indifference, any negative emotion is a sign that we're slowing down our manifestation. We're pushing it farther away from us. So that's the first thing to know. Negative emotion, any negative emotion, that's a sign that we're slowing down the very thing that we have such a desire for. If we want to gain a little momentum, if we want to be able to create faster, then we want to get into resonance with the desire itself. That's the fast track. I don't know if you ever saw the movie American Beauty. It was probably around 20 years ago, maybe around the year 2000. And one of the main characters videotaped a plastic shopping bag that was just floating around in the breeze. And he thought it was fascinating to just videotape it wherever the wind currents would take it. He found beauty in the flow. Now, for me, when I want to be in the flow, I like to imagine that I'm on a lazy river, just kind of floating along, not going any place in particular, just kind of in the joy of being lazy on this lazy river in an inner tube, just flowing. And that's the feeling we want when we want to create momentum. We step into the flow and let it carry us. Letting go and allowing the flow is exactly how we manifest our desires. We aren't directly manifesting, we're creating the atmosphere that allows the manifestation to happen. Does that make sense? For me, I like the idea of a lazy river. When I meditate, I like to find music that sounds like and feels like a lazy river. In this way, as I'm carried down the river effortlessly, I know that the river is doing all the work, and I can let go and not interfere by trying to push the river along. The movement towards something that we desire can be so fulfilling, and those emotions of feeling absorbed, enchanted, entranced, riveted, or even stimulated, that's where the gift of desire is, inside those emotions. And letting go allows movement toward that desire. So, what about the challenges and obstacles that get in our way? Do we work on solving those? Do we give them a little bit of attention? Or is it better to just stay focused on our desires, to stay focused on the flow, even though that maybe feels a little bit, I don't know, irresponsible? Well, it's a good question. But before we go there, I just want to slip in this little reminder. If you already know that you're ready to dissolve life's obstacles that are on your path to success, if you already know that you're ready to be a creator, then you might be ready for this amazing new tool to get you moving into some better patterns and frequencies where success can find its way to you. It's called the Alchemy Matrix, and it's going to help you call back in your destiny. It's an interactive roadmap designed to help you solve problems, dissolve barriers, heal spiritual injuries, and bring in a lot of clarity so you can create the future that you'd like to see. Just a brief little reminder here that you can sign up to learn more about the Alchemy Matrix at successcircleworkshops.com. And I promise to tell you more about that in just a minute. So, we were talking about the challenges and obstacles that get in the way of flow. Do we work on solving those so that we can get them out of our way? Or do we simply stay focused on our desires? Well, this was exactly the question that one of my clients had when she found herself wanting to leave an abusive marriage. It was over in her mind, this marriage. It was just complete and done. She was already emotionally divorced and ready to just move on. But no matter what, it just seemed like this marriage of hers wouldn't wrap up. She had found a condo that she wanted to buy. It matched up with everything she'd been envisioning, but this marriage thing, it just wouldn't resolve. So she decided to use the energy of desire. What she would do is go into a meditative state and think about this condo, think about the move. She'd think about her new life. She'd imagine all the details of it, and she'd put herself right in the middle of this vision. And then she would just kind of feel it out to see where her desire was on a scale of 1 to 10. If her desire was at a 5, she would just imagine it increasing and increasing more and more until she felt her desire strong at a 10. And sometimes she would keep increasing the feeling of that desire to 12 and 15 and 20 and so on. Because everything she'd read about the law of attraction said it matters how we feel. The universe responds to our positive emotions. Still, she said, nothing would change. All the positive emotions around desire didn't seem to matter at all. And so she asked me about this. And remember what we talked about earlier, that desire is unleashing or unlocking the true power of flow? But we don't want to want something so much that we end up putting resistance on it and pushing it away. Well, she insisted that she was focused 100% on the desire itself and all the emotions and energies around that desire. She insisted that she had zero resistance around her desire. Now, this is tricky. The mistake we make sometimes is in trying to solve a challenge or an obstacle. And all that does is it keeps us stuck in the challenge. And the more she insisted that she had no resistance, I felt her getting frustrated. Her energy of insistence was very telling, and she had almost become combative. So we looked to other areas of her life. We looked at her friends, her hobbies, the different things she spent her time doing, cooking, and so forth. We looked at her dogs, her extended family, her volunteer work. We looked at all those areas. And as we did, I just kept asking her one question in each area. What's your greatest desire in this other part of your life? One by one, we just looked at this desire and maybe another one and another one. And after a few minutes of looking at different desires and brainstorming about things that she wanted to create, she said she was feeling lighter. And I reminded her that when we look to those things that stir desire within us, our own energy changes. Just the process of brainstorming possibilities will often do this kind of automatically. When we get into vibrational resonance with desire or with the things we desire, from there, we're better able to see solutions across the board. And she literally said to me, I don't suppose this marriage thing really matters right now. I'm kind of too excited with some of these other desires I have. And sure enough, within a matter of months, she was able to finally leave the marriage. Did she get the condo she wanted? No, she actually found one that was better because her energy changed, because she stopped focusing on the problem. It cleared the space for success and cleared the space also for some greater desires. When we have a desire for one thing, it creates all kinds of positive energies that affect other areas of our life. And that's the gift within desire. The mistake we make sometimes is in trying to solve the challenge or an obstacle or that distraction. And all that does is keep us stuck in that challenge. So we want to look to other areas of our life. And when we look to those things that stir desire within us, our overall energy changes. And that challenge that we're in can often find a way to solve itself or just to drop away, clearing the way for success. And this is how we unleash or unlock the true power of flow. So, one more thing I want to mention about flow. I've mentioned before that I have a friend who's a musician, and flow comes very naturally for him, but he doesn't necessarily see that as a strength. And I've told him, are you kidding me? Gosh, everybody wants to be in flow because while it seems like it would be natural for a lot of us, it just isn't. What's natural or normal for most of us until we learn how to get rid of ego thinking is that we have these negative emotions as we try to frustrate ourselves through a challenge. We get easily triggered into doubts, uncertainty, impatience, confusion, and so on. That's what we're used to because it's a habit that almost seems more natural than flow. We become excited by a desire, but then ego thinking can quickly move in and trigger these negative emotions if the desire just doesn't quickly manifest in the physical world. So, I want to take a minute and break down the anatomy of this just a little bit more. We don't flip flop between desire and negative emotions. It's more like this, and I'll put this on the screen for you. We feel the desire of something that we want or something we want to happen, and then we align with the energy of that desire, even if only for a moment. And then ego thinking moves in, telling us everything we don't want to hear or why we can't have this thing. And next, we rebalance and course correct and recenter and get more and more clear about what we want. And then we amend our desires and we realign again and hopefully eventually relax into the flow. And we may circulate through this a number of times just within a few minutes or across a whole year. So, how does this work? Let's look at an example. Let's say, for instance, that we want a new car, and that's the desire we feel. We get excited about it. We think about what we want and maybe look at some different models online. And as we do this, we're in that second step, we're aligning with the desire. And then ego thinking tells us, oh, it's not practical. We can't afford it. There's nothing wrong with the car we have, blah, 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 blah. And remember, I've said this before that ego thinking is there to show us the contrast between what we don't want, what we do want. So now we take this negative ego thinking and we refine, we rebalance, we get more and more clarity, we recenter. And then we amend our desires either with more clarity or maybe we've now imagined something even better. And this helps us get into the flow. This is the same process that we'll go through over and over with each desire we have. And so we may as well relax into it and not overthink it because it's likely going to happen. In fact, if you look at this closely, we could just feel the desire and then just slip straight into flow, bypassing all these in between steps that I have on your screen for you. Okay, then, this works the very same way when we're presented with a challenge or when we want to get out of a situation. In the early example, we had someone who wanted out of her abusive marriage. She could feel the desire of wanting out of it. Then she began to get excited about moving on to a new life. She thought about what she wanted in this new life, and then she thought about all the possibilities. She began to align with this new vision. But then ego thinking moved in, telling her all the reasons it was a bad idea. Or, and this happens, maybe someone else's ego moves in, like her ex-husband telling her she'll never make it on her own. But she took the time to get more and more clarity about what she did want and what she didn't want. And this process of recentering and gaining more clarity, she was able to amend her vision and ultimately step into flow. Now, if you were paying attention to her story, and I'm sure you were, you'll remember that she had trouble with this. She tried to align with her desire, but nothing would change in her marriage. So together we looked at other desires in other areas of her life. And that's what helped her to recenter. And with this shift in energy and thinking about other desires and brainstorming other possibilities, the marriage could resolve itself and fall away because she was finding herself in a new flow, in a new energy. Make sense? This is a predictable formula. But we could just feel the desire and go straight into flow without having to suffer through all those in-between steps of ego thinking and all that. We may as well relax into the flow and enjoy the unfolding of the new. And then we can savor the journey just a little bit more. The idea is to always be looking at our desires, always be looking forward, because the gift is in the desire. That's because true desire is filled with positive energies. True desire is overflowing with these energies. These positive energies are what create alchemy and allow life to transform. This is our hidden power. When we just let go and step into the flow, the universe can bring about transformation for us. What was happening with this client and what may happen to you at some point, if it hasn't already, is that we get the energy of desire flowing. And when ego thinking moves in and we get bombarded with negative thoughts, we turn the gift into torture. Our desires turn into angst or overwhelm or irritation or confusion. And before we know it, we're swimming in torment. Our job is to break loose of the negative thoughts that bind us up. Our job is to find the joy, find the possibilities, find the blessings, find the positive thoughts, find the flow. It should feel good to have desires. If we can hold that good energy long enough, the universe can bring our desires and our success to us. When we can cherish the unfoldment and honor the journey of what's to come, no matter what we're seeing in the physical, that's what makes life just a little bit easier. It allows us to grow and expand and keep creating new desires. And this is a good thing since we are creative vibrational beings able to create what we want and bring our desires into manifestation without getting hung up in the negative vibrations that block them. This idea is the gift of desire, this idea of flow. It comes naturally to all of us, but sometimes we just need to be reminded of how natural it really is for us. When we can get into vibrational resonance with our dream, with our desires, that's the fast track. These positive energies are an accelerator. Remember, all that's really required is a shift in frequency, because our choice of frequency, our choice of positive vibes can change the course of our journey. So, how can you apply what you've learned today? Can you see the benefit of unlocking the true power of flow? It's a universal law. We cannot ever be deprived of anything when we're in this pattern of flow. Well, I hope this helps you as you're using the powers of alchemy to transform challenges and obstacles into positive new successes. But if you still can't get your head around what's got you stuck, you can tell me about it. You can send me a question to questions@unlockyourhiddenpower.com. Or if you're someone who has the audacity, the willingness to take bold risks, to transform challenges into success, you can find out more about our events at successcircleworkshops.com. This is where you can learn more about the audacity of alchemy and how to unlock your hidden power. You'll get a personalized interactive roadmap that's custom designed to get you unstuck by unlocking your hidden power to create big, magical changes. Alchemy. You'll learn to solve problems, dissolve barriers, and bring success to you. So don't wait. Go to successcircleworkshops.com and get your personalized Alchemy Matrix package right now. And here's what you'll get: a full color workbook filled with hands-on exercises to inspire your creative energies, membership in your very own success circle for high-level masterminding and networking, your very own customized alchemy matrix to unlock your hidden power and bring success to you, and your very own personal unstuckologist. Remember, the Alchemy Matrix is the only tool of its kind. It's only available here. So if you're ready to approach your life's challenges with audacity, if you're ready to finally banish frustration, indecision, and the negative spiral, if you're ready to watch success materialize right before your eyes, then go to successcircleworkshops.com and get your personalized Alchemy Matrix package now and watch the magic start to happen. Thanks for joining me today, and I'm wishing you a life filled with all the alchemy you need to bring success to you. Feel free to share this video with anyone you know who's feeling stuck, and I look forward to seeing you in one of our upcoming success circles. You can find out more at successcircleworkshops.com.